Bucket fills, anything else? All of the above.
My friend Alex Randall isn't here today, and I don't think he's
He's not
online.
feeling well
Oh.
today, that's why.
He hosted 2 open houses for me this weekend, and they were very busy, and it was a great success. So I wanted to thank him for doing that for me.
Maybe that's, you ran him out.
Ran him,
Like,
yeah,
that was
ran him ragged.
exhausted, yeah. Something like that. All right, what else?
Fill Heather's bucket for going to pick up lunch today.
Yay!
All right, anything else? What else?
I have 2
I
fire,
can always count on Wendy for something good, no matter what week it is.
2 referrals and 2 fire rep appointments. I mean,
Like, things are just moving along.
yep.
Awesome.
I'm all green on my goals this week.
Oh! What else? What else we got?
ELC for providing lunch. Yeah.
Nice. Oh, hey, here he is.
You guys are my answer.
Two more. What are some other good things happening in your bucket fill? We got some.
Jamie, I have a really good one.
Okay, go.
So, this is a good one. So, for any of them,
This is a good one.
any of the desserts, there we go. Two.
They're actually not desserts. They're just on the dessert team. That's not, those I don't know.
Any of the desserts. So we had a high-end luxury client in town, and 2 days ago, during the day, we found out that he was gonna be available without any appointments in the evening, and so we called Alex and Ben and said, hey, by chance, is your boat still on Lake Minnetonka? Gentleman has never been on the lake, and there's a possibility they'll be buying either $20 million property, and so we thought, well, just see if these guys are available. Not only were they available, they got the boat, they got their wives together and organized, got treats, snacks, and wine and everything. We went out on like a 2.5-hour boat cruise with them, with the client. It was amazing. I mean, it
Did
was,
they sign them?
and our client, it's our client.
Oh, okay.
Don't have trouble with this. This is about collaboration.
Rick's like,
It's, I mean, think about that situation. I mean, these are other agents, that we are working with collectively. They're helping us, Sherry and I, to have a better, relationship with this client. And this client has been here about 20 times. He's the best night and he's ever had.
hey,
Good.
that's super cool.
He had a lot of fun too.
Awesome. One more.
Yeah, both cruises on Lake Minnetonka.
All right, let's get started then with some announcement stuff. You want to point out the things you were talking about yesterday, like the very specific ones that you wanted to point out, because I'm guessing I'll miss them.
They're all
The
on.
next one? Okay, so we'll go through them all individually then as they come up. Again, this is our interactive calendar. I know I say it every single time, but there is always a question, where can I find XYZ? We can find it all on here, right? And you click on the, whatever it is, sends you right to the Eventbrite. It'll tell you whether or not it's on Zoom. It'll tell you where the actual address of it is, and then you can sign up there as well for any of the information that you need further. Any questions around that? Thank you, Lydia, for always making this.
Quick thing about that. This is not me. I don't come up with this. This is someone outside of our office. So when I send this out, if it's missing in Eventbrite, I promise you I didn't forget. It just hasn't been created yet. But I do update it now, and I do send it out every week with the peak of the week. So it does get updated.
Perfect.
Eventbrite get made.
All right, so, do you want to talk about this, Rick? Because I really loved this marketing tool here that you got. I actually really do. I really like this flyer.
So yeah, this is, well, actually, so I'm gonna tell you about this, and then after we do our little presentation of the book, this is, I'll just get ahead of it a little bit. The presentation that we're gonna talk about in the book has something to do with, being inspiring to other people and, connecting and stuff. And that's precisely what this is. So we get together, we hang out, it's social, it's really nice, to just talk to people outside of the office. And this is what I want to encourage you to do. Don't go there to be inspired by other people that are going to be there. Because I don't know who's going. Are you going? Oh, you can be inspired? Look at that.
I'll go.
So I'll go. Chris is going. Go there to inspire others. That's the goal. And it's going to be a lot of fun. So we will talk to each other. We'll have a nice time. And it's always been great. So we always see Tony and Shane all show up too. So.
And today is one of their birthdays.
It's Tony's birthday.
Oh, it is interesting. So we'll see.
It's on Facebook.
We'll see what happens. So if you see him. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun today. And the Muni is, I don't know, 4 minutes away.
Awesome. All right, Leadership Academy with Jake is this Thursday, 11 to 12:30. So that's in person here. That will not be recorded. It's never recorded. That's one where he likes one-on-one conversation, as well as just being able to be here and have an actual discussion. Because I think we all know when something's on Zoom, sometimes it gets lost, or there's just not as much interaction. So the things that he's touching on in that session, I think we also sent out, but are listed below here. It always changes, and sometimes when you're in it, depending on who's talking and what questions are being asked, it can kind of go in different directions. So again, it's well worth your time to go to something like this, just in regards to personal growth, and help you in different kind of mindset things that might be going on in your business. The wealth community, the power of the solo 401k for realtors is also tomorrow at 1 p.m. at KW Lake Minnetonka. So it's going to be happening in place here, right in this room. Derek, did you want to say anything about that?
The topic is solo 401ks. I see it's right on the thing there. Yeah. Kari set this up. It's with one of her connections, and I expect it to be good.
Awesome.
I'll be on Zoom.
No, we don't have that on.
I don't think most of the community events
No.
are on Zoom. I think those are in person only usually. Don't quote me on that, but I think they're usually in person. Collective potluck is September 27th at noon after the collective team meeting. So bring your favorite game day appetizers or desserts to share. And that is here, correct? So all of the offices will be here for that meeting run. I think Jake is not going to potentially be here. I think it will be Jen only. So bring something for the potluck on the 27th.
I have a sign up that I'll send out again. Please sign up. I'm the only person signed up, and that will not be enough food. So please bring food.
Awesome. Business planning clinic. This is huge. If you have not signed up for this, honestly, scan this and get signed up. If there is one class, and I know we talk about a lot of classes, I know we talk about a lot of trainings, I know that there's a lot offered. However, in regards to being successful, you need a plan, right? And this particular day, which is 9 to 4, you're going to be talking and diving deep into what that looks like for you, right? So how they, kind of teach this class is you're going to be using your numbers or numbers that you want, right? Or believe that you have for tracking. If you're not tracking now, some of your conversion rates would have to just go with their generalized ones. But this is in person only, Cedars Hall. And this is actually a regional event. So there's going to be quite a few agents there. It's not just our market centers. I'm guessing there'll probably be 200 agents there or more. So again, scan this one now. It is one that you're not going to want to miss. Who's yeah, it is $99. Yep, $99. Who's signed up for this already? Wendy. Okay. Who can I count on to sign up for this by the end of the day today? Whoever signs up for business planning, end of day is gonna go get put in a drawing. We can send out an email and I'll give them $100 Visa card. So whoever wins that, sign up today. Guess what? That's a refund of your business planning clinic essentially to use on whatever you would like. So go sign up for it. Lydia will put them into a drawing by 5 o'clock today and we'll draw someone's name if they sign up. Wendy, you get to be put in that because you were first. So
Maybe she-
everybody else,
You
Two
can
entries.
email Lydia if you sign up, so she knows who to put in the drawing.
that would probably be good. Yes, if you sign up or, yeah, email Lydia and say that you signed up.
And I'll create an email with all these sign up things.
Awesome.
They're also on Facebook already, so you can go get them there. So, they're on.
Perfect. Bold. We do have people signed up for Bold. September, or step 1 is October 11th, 9 to 2:30. That's free. So even if you're like, hey, I want to at least get something poured into me that day from a teaching perspective and just learn a little bit about it, sign up. It's free. You have no money out of your pocket at that point in time. And if you're like, I want to commit to the whole time period, I really like the guy, I felt a good vibe with him, kind of what I want to do is do the rest of the sessions, which I think is 6 more. Show up here. So sign up for the first step, and then we can sign up for the other steps there as well. Who signed up for that already? Awesome. Okay, oh, we have the video, right?
Hang on, I think I have to
Attention.
unclick this and then.
Oh, no, just do there.
It's a guy. It's the guy talking. Not him.
Yeah.
Weird.
Here we go.
whatever, move into a new school district and are too afraid to do it because they think the market's bad. You, by simply making sure you get the message out to your people, are going to uncover sellers that you never even knew were there. And we're going to just hold out because they believed what they heard out in the world, right? Now, that's step 1. Step 2, and I would tell you to do this. I think this is something you could do at least once a year. I would never do it less than that. You should do this at least once a year. And I think you could get away with doing it every 6 months. I would go to every single person in my database who owns a home. Now, hear me clearly. I don't care if you sold them the house. That's not what this is about. They own a home in an area that you would take a listing in, whether it's right in your backyard or an hour away. If you would service it, you're going to reach out to these people. And you're going to pick whatever number a day that you can handle based off your current workload. Now, if you don't have a lot of business, you could probably handle a pretty good number. And you're going to take, what is it going to take you, 2 to 3 minutes a piece to do a quick CMA. Now, I know every once in a while you got the house on acreage that's not in a regular neighborhood and you might have to do a little bit of research. 9 out of 10 of the people in your database, the house that they own, it would be very easy to do a quick CMA and know that it's worth between here and here, a pretty narrow window, right? And here's what this would look like. You're going to call the people in your database. You're going to be a real live human being and have a normal conversation. Hey, it's Hudson over at Keller Williams. How are you? Let them talk. How are the kids? How's the job? How was the trip? Whatever. Like, you're going to have a normal conversation with them. And then after you've had a little bit of back and forth banter, you're simply going to say something along the lines of this. Hey, you know what? I consider myself your real estate resource. And I know that, gosh, real estate for most of us is the most valuable asset that we own. So I just wanted to give you an update on what your home was worth right now. If you were to sell your home tomorrow, it would be worth blank and blank. Like, give them the range, or if you feel that it's really tight, just give them a number, whatever it is. Say it and then stop. This is the power. This is where this works. You stop and let the silence do the heavy lifting, because they're going to react. A number of things could happen. They could say, oh, thanks for telling me that, and just move on because they didn't care and they're never going to move and all of that stuff. They could say, oh, that's interesting. Whatever. Or they could say, oh, really? Or they could say, oh, wow. And you will know by the way that, now it's rare that they're going to say, come sell it, although somebody might do it. The way that they react, the energy they react with, the tone that they use, that will tell you if now it's time for you to go and ask some follow-up questions and see if you didn't just uncover a lead. Because think about it. Any random consumer in any given moment might think their house is worth, I'm going to pick an arbitrary number, it doesn't matter, $400,000. They think their house is worth $400,000. And based off that knowledge, they are not a seller. They have no desire to move. Life is wonderful. You reach out to them and you share with them that their house is worth $475,000. That's a pretty big delta. So now somebody who was never even thinking about selling has new information and may show you, whether they say it out loud or not, that they are now interested in finding out more about the equity of their home. Oh, in the worst case scenario, maybe they don't want to sell and they're sitting on a boatload of equity. Well, the most wealth in the world comes from real estate ownership, and most people never have investment properties in real estate because they simply don't know where to start. Well, there's your next conversation to have if you have somebody who's excited about how much their house is worth and yet doesn't want to move. So there's a lot of opportunity in just those two things. First of all, take control of the messaging. Make sure that the people that you know the real deal and not the junk that they're hearing in the media and social media and all of the things, right? Step two, everyone who owns a piece of property in an area that you serve should know what it's worth, and they should hear it from you on the phone. This is not an email. This is not a text. It won't work because you need to hear their reaction. And you don't ask them if they want to know. You call with the information and you just share it. No one will be mad at you. Worst case is they have information and nothing else happens. The best case is you find your next listing and paycheck. All right. So I trust this was of value. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Bold Starts in a few weeks, and make it a fantastic day. Go take control of the market.
Roofers are furious about this new product.
It's so funny because I honestly don't know him well. And I was like, oh, what did we talk about last week? It's about taking the knowledge and getting it out to the public, right? Because the perception is so different than what the reality is. And it's our job to actually give them that knowledge base versus them hearing it from whoever else that doesn't know what they're talking about. So that's actually kind of interesting that that's what he talks about. See, great mind, right? Great mind. All right, next. Holiday party.
Kelly's here to talk about it.
Oh, perfect.
Happy birthday.
Wait.
No, I'm not.
Okay, I think I'm unmuted now. So he actually gave me a great tie-in for our holiday party, because what better way to call your clients with an easy phone call is to invite them to a party. So, so we have been doing this for, I don't know, like 20 years probably. And we invite all of the agents here at the Lake Minnetonka office. And we're also going to extend our invite, if we have space, to other KW agents that are using Profile. And so if you guys fill it up, then there won't be room for them. But we offer it to the Lake Minnetonka office first. So we have a client appreciation party that we host. All you have to do is invite your clients and show up. We have wreaths that you can order, and we organize all that piece. We have Santa and Mrs. Claus already reserved. We'll do a sign up for people to bring some appetizers and those things. We also ask our other preferred vendors to help with sponsorship. We have our location already reserved. And then Rick is sitting up there at the table, and he's a huge part of making this holiday party a success. He has typically done balloon animals, and I'm going to put him on the spot because we actually haven't talked yet. Balloon animals, and his whole team helps a lot with the Santa pictures and just getting the holiday spirit going with other things. He also maybe will be doing a poinsettia order as well as the wreaths. So I can throw it over to Rick and see what he wants to participate with, and I'm volunteering him for all of these things now.
I love doing that. Not me throwing him under.
So anyway, there is a email in your inbox that just went out again this morning. It has a link to participate, and there's just $50 to participate, and that just helps cover some of the costs that we have for tablecloths and Santa and the venue and the wreath coordination. And then you can literally just show up with your clients and invite them, and that's all you do, and that would be fantastic. Or you can get really involved and order wreaths and poinsettias. We'll also send out some examples for some invites that you can use for your party, and then I'll toss it over to Rick to see what he wants to participate with this year.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Kelly. This has been great collaboration over the years. The couple other things that you typically see there's a coloring station for kids to do little coloring contests, and obviously it's all Christmas oriented stuff, holiday oriented stuff. And then we've done like cookie decorating, we bring snacks, we bring cider and
There was a hot
cocoa.
chocolate bar.
Hot chocolate bar
It
last
was
year.
so cute.
So it does all change a little bit every year just to try to make it all work. The only thing that I would say just a tiny little bit different is that I would encourage you, instead of just coming and showing up, decide that you want to actually participate. Come and help set up, which is really fun because it's all of us. If you've got a skill or something really neat that you can join in and participate with and bring to the people who are there, because all of our clients are appreciating all of the work that the different agents are doing. So, and it is amazing. Our clients absolutely love it. Last year we had 50 plus. I know Kelly gets quite a few more as well, but it's
What I think that
great
we-
venue.
What I think we didn't talk about too is this is a great opportunity for solo agents that are like, I can't do an event on my own without breaking the bank, right? Because number one, it's an easier in for an event. Number two, there are so many people there, and guess what? When your clients show up, they have no idea who's there for you or for somebody else, and they walk away and they're like, man, you had an awesome event, right? And you're like, yeah, we did have an awesome event, right? So it gives you opportunity to do something around the holiday time for whoever your clients are. Even if you're like, hey, only 3 people are going to come. Great, 3 people are showing up, but if there's 100 and some people there, it's a really cool environment and atmosphere to kind of show your clients also like the collaboration of the office.
Incredibly well.
Yeah.
And one last thing I'll add is we do a Toys for Tots drive every year, and our office is an official donation location. And so we do go on the Toys for Tots website, and then we set up a Care 11 time to be on the news to do that donation. And so we'll ask for volunteers for that. But that can also be a part of your invite and your conversation with your clients is to bring a Toys for Tots donation.
Any other questions? Does anybody have questions about that, around this event or how to sign up or anything? Oh, the one question, I guess, do we know how much either anything is? Is that something that'll get sent out, Kelly?
Yeah, so it's $50 to participate, and the wreaths are $19 a piece to order. You can order 1 or 100 or however many. That email has a little link to participate, and that does have that information in there on like how to sign up for those things.
Yeah, and we do a big order of poinsettias as well. So did you do those last year, Wendy? Yeah, at what, $12 maybe? 12 or
Okay,
15?
just so that if someone's like wondering like, hey, if I have 10 people come, how much will that actually cost me? It's just a good thing, for everyone to know.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep.
I think this is me.
Oh, it's like, what's this?
So, we are kind of putting together, one thing that I do at the Market Center is I talk to people who are interested in becoming real estate agents. And so we created this quick little business card, and they're gonna be at the front desk, just with all of our cards. Because we know that you guys are out talking to people, and people see how you live your lives, and they're like, I might be interested in also getting a real estate license. And so if you put a couple of these in your wallet, and then when you talk to them, you can be like, hey, you can call someone at my office, and they can just tell you about like, what does that process look like? And how do you get started? And so that would be me. And then on the back side here, it does say referred by, and that's where you'll put your name. Because let's say the person is really interested after I talk to them, they do the schooling, and then they start, and then we know who to talk to them about when they are filling out their sponsorship form. So, at the front desk, so if you guys are out talking to people or people are asking you questions about how did you get into real estate, that next conversation would be about licensing and that type of thing. And I'm happy to jump in on that conversation. And Keller Williams does offer a scholarship that covers most of the licensing courses. So that's a nice thing to let them know too.
Katie's done a great job on this, so thank you for that. This also alleviates some of the questions that people will call and ask, like, what do I say to this person? Or how do I explain such and such, right? How many of us are like sitting at a restaurant and you're like, man, this person would be really good in real estate? Or have you ever thought about real estate, right? I do that all the time where I'm like, man, that's where you could slip that card, and if they are interested, they could get a hold of Candy, right? Who actually knows the words and the verbs and everything else. That doesn't get us in trouble with the scholarship piece, as well as what they have to do to be able to get through the schooling. So thank you for that, because I think, go take a stack of them, put them in your purse, your wallet, wherever, because I think you could utilize them really well in regards to just growing your profit share tree or finding talent and seeing if they'd be interested in real estate. Do you guys have any questions around that? Do you think this is going to be helpful for people? Cool. Thanks, Candy. All right. Do I hear a motion to start the ALC meeting for September?
A motion to start the meeting.
Anybody want to second that?
I was just asking about the barbecue today. The barbecue today or something.
Lunch being provided? Yeah, we talked about that when you were late for the meeting. So Heather's going to grab the food and it'll be here right after this meeting. That's why she's not here. All right, so anyone that hasn't been to the ALC meetings before, we talk about a growth book that we've been reading the whole year. And there's different things that we want to just touch base on. In regards to this is our Agent Leadership Council. It's kind of a discussion between myself and them. And then we go through their numbers for the month and the year and where they're tracking. So it's an open book for people to see part of the top 20% and where they're tracking to kind of normalize everybody goes through ups and downs as well as how they're tracking their numbers. All right, so was like a really short piece. We're almost done with the book, so by October we'll be completely finished. But what I wanted to talk about, and I sent this out to you, was about success, excellence, and your potential. So from this section, what was the ahas that you guys came up with? Riveting.
I wrote one down. Success versus excellence was one of the things he talked about. Ron was gonna say it's really about this guy that was from Chick-fil-A. It's gonna come out, but he sat down with him and he said, I asked him what I thought was a great question. What is success to you? And then he said, he told me that was the wrong question. Said success you're judging based on how others perceive you, or it's an outside.
You against others.
Against others. The other part of excellence, right, is excellence. Yeah, excellence is are you living up to your potential, and how those are different. Like where are we making our judgments? I say to my kids all the time, yeah, but who are you comparing yourself to, right? Like who's the standard bearer? And he was saying success is about looking at a standard bearer out there and going, but excellence is about, am I living up to my potential?
Yeah, there was a quote, like in the book, it says success is measuring yourself against other people. Excellence is measuring yourself against your own potential. When you choose excellence, you move closer to your potential, which is so true. Like, I mean, yes, you've got it highlighted too. Go, Rick.
So I read this and I thought immediately, I'm like, I think it's awesome because I believe that God created everybody differently. God created everybody unique for a reason. So why would we compare ourselves to other people? He created us to be unique. He created us to have our own potential individually, and then that's going to have an effect on everybody around us. So I love that that's first the mindset, because then you're not comparing yourself to other people. You're comparing yourself to your potential, which leads to the next question. It says here in the next page, it says, will you move closer to your potential? Well, I don't remember what it was. In the last week, I heard something else related directly to this, probably here. But what is your potential? That begs the question, why would we have limits? Why would we put limits on our potential? Right? You don't know. Amy doesn't know if she can run a marathon till she takes her body and says, I run a 5K. Run 5K. I don't know if I can run 5K. Well, you don't know until you push your body to run 5K. Well, then run a half a marathon. I don't know if I can run a half a marathon. I mean, I just had knee surgery. I don't know if that's even possible. I'm old, right? You got to push yourself to that point before you realize what your potential is. So many people, because we live in this comfortable environment and we live in this comfortable lifestyle, we've taken our potential and just said it's kind of. So this is an encouragement to don't set any limits, because God didn't set any limits on us, on each individual person. Each individual person's got potential beyond their imagination. So this is an encouragement piece to go further with, and push yourself. You really don't know what it is. So if you haven't sold a luxury house, a house over $1 million, push yourself to do it, because you don't know if you have the potential to do it or not. If you haven't sold 50 houses in a year, and that's what you want your potential to be, then push yourself to sell 50 houses a year. So it's about taking that next step and not comparing yourself to the other people around.
I think there's never any satisfaction with comparing yourself to other people. You never feel like you never feel like you're good enough. There's always somebody who's doing better or bigger or whatever the case may be. So if you're internalizing that and shooting for excellence, you might reach your goal and then even be able to expand on that or improve on that, versus trying to fuck with everybody around.
I like that. I think that there's no satisfaction. That's what very. I mean, we've talked about that where you reach your goal and you're like really happy, and then all of a sudden you hear someone else and you're like, oh. But that's what your goal was. It doesn't matter what anyone else's goal was, like, that's what you decided you wanted this year, and maybe we change it next year, but you should be happy in that, and you should be proud of that. For sure, yeah.
You know, what I explained, but not in the past. Always surprised at how I look at other people, the facade of other people, and never know what's behind the facade. And so you're comparing the externals, not the internals. And for me, I just shifted to say, am I being consistent with my behaviors? Am I being consistent on the internal personally? And if I am, I'm achieving the success or the excellence that I desire. When I look at only the externals, I don't realize that I'm melting away inside, or that other person's melting away inside. It's just a waste of your time. I just try to measure myself and think, I can regulate that and see that I'm all pleased with that. I mentioned this morning that I came in, I had a bad conversation, and my response was a negative response that I had to kind of rein in and recalibrate so that my behaviors were consistent with my own expectations.
And knowing that, right, like you recognize it, like, oh, okay. Awesome. Derek.
Did you read it?
I read it. I mean, it's 10 pages.
I did, and I sent it out last night.
And one of those pages had 4 words on it. We're doing all right. You guys covered a lot of this stuff. I hit on closed on Sundays, how Chick-fil-A is closed on Sundays, especially when in the early time, they were predominantly in malls, and Sunday is one of the largest revenue generating days in the mall. People thought they were crazy, but it goes deeper than that. For him, it's about being closed on Sunday because of the Sabbath and Exodus, and I don't know. And as I read it, I thought, what a fantastic benefit to the people who work there that they can consistently look at having at least a day off every week. And if nothing else were different, that would be a great differentiator between working at Chick-fil-A and working at BK or McDonald's or whatever the other available options are, right? Yeah. And how much that adds to their life just because he's willing to give up 15, maybe 20% of what revenue could be. Maybe it makes them more desirable. People feel like more compelled
There's
to go there.
always a line at Chick-fil-A.
Have you been into a Chick-fil-A? What that experience is like?
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty crazy. I've only been twice, but I was blown away. Never been into a place like that had the service that they did, or the employees that they're able to retain that care. Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible. I couldn't believe it.
Like, it's not like a, hey, you want to upgrade that with a super, whatever, and you're like, huh? What kind of
Well,
sausage do you want with that at
They
Taco
came
Bell?
over to my table and
Right?
asked if I needed anything else. Like, not just how is everything. He was like,
Yeah.
he's like, can I get you anything else?
Well, and with Derek is just beyond.
Can we just talk about that for a second? So Derek said something important in that. The day off, right? And Sunday being the largest income generating, right, for malls, and yet they're still closed. And what I hear a lot from agents is, well, I can't take Saturday and Sunday off. Those are the biggest days for real estate. Are they?
That's who.
But do you understand what I mean on that? Things have shifted, and it's us who's gonna shift that. Do we need to have open houses every day, all day on Saturdays and Sundays? What if we did one on a Thursday? What if we did one on a Tuesday? Right? Who says that you can't do that? Do you believe that buyers will not show up to those if it's marketed? I believe that buyers will show up to it. There might even be more buyers that show up to those because they don't have to go to 55 open houses in a day.
I think it's important to hit the question before they chose to take Sundays off, is they asked these 2 questions. What do you want to be known for? And what are you known for? And if those don't align, they're suggesting that it doesn't succeed, hard to have success. If those
Yeah.
two things don't align. So they were choosing, because they're, you know, it happened to be their faith, they were choosing, hey, we're gonna hold the line here, say, this is who we are, and this is what we want to be known for. You know, and that was so much more valuable than the money that they might make by being open and going against who they are and what they want.
I would also say on, I think there's a jump between, let's take Sundays off, right? Which they did on, he said in the beginning, I had to, right? People just needed a moment. To this became who we are, and I think it's everything else that lines up with that is in alignment, right?
Yeah.
You walk in and it's an amazing thing. You're like, why is this place always busy? Why are people courteous? What's going there? They've created a culture, and part of that culture is we have Sundays off. But if McDonald's would just say, we're gonna stay who we are, except we're not gonna be open on Sundays anymore, that's not really who they are, right? And I think that's the spot of, is the reflection that others are seeing really what you are? Are you trying to falsify that? If you try to falsify, that doesn't really work, right? We have to be, those two have to be in
The whole
alignment.
thing has to be in alignment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can we talk about this chapter, the next chapter, the inspiration?
That's
If-
the chapter, right?
That's next month, but we could.
No, no,
Oh,
that's
probably,
what
yeah,
we're
that
doing.
one, yeah.
No,
It's
no,
through-
it's just.
We haven't
it's just
read it.
one. Yes, you did.
You did read it.
Yes, it's.
Then you don't
five
have a
pages.
page and a half to read.
Well, Derek wasn't sure if he read it because he read it right before.
At the end of it.
217 or 218.
But just to get everyone on track here, we were supposed to read 205 to 215, and page 209 is the next paragraph or the next chapter, which is.
Which, by the way,
being
this is
inspired.
the book, and it's a great book.
Oh my
It's a
gosh.
super easy read. Rick has not read a book in forever. He told me this, so I can share it.
I like
And
it.
he's like.
He's
"I
read
really
one
like
book.
this book."
I have. and-
Yeah,
One book that I know of.
Was that not your push? You were like, I'm not reading a book this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
And I was like, can you just give it a chance?
So just for
Like-
clarification, apart from the Bible, I have not read any other books, and probably.
He's far enough away where he can't read it.
Yeah, so inspiration. So it says for this, well, it says, remain inspired. We're going to need more inspired people. Also, we need an inspired you. So what I thought was just awesome is thinking, when we go into a room here at a team meeting, are we here to be inspired? Or are we here to inspire? When you go home and you're with your family, are you there to have your spouse inspire you? Or are you gonna walk into that relationship and be the one who's inspiring the family? And I think it's just a really exciting and great opportunity to say, we want to be the ones, what do we need to do to be inspiring? to other people? Because Chick-fil-A and taking Sunday off and doing the business in a manner that somebody's gone there twice and remembers the service is being inspiring, right? And we all have that opportunity to do that every day. So it's just a really cool, encouraging piece.
I think that's a good mindset, just in regards to, we all know there's things in every business relationship, personal relationship, and you can kind of get stuck in that thing, right? And you can be like, ugh, it's just gonna suck the life out of me, right? Or you can be like, what do I need to do to re-put the life into that relationship to maybe make that person get out of whatever funk they're in? Right? Because I'm like, we can help those, or we can enable those feelings of whoever that is by just either avoiding it or not trying to inspire them. Anything else? Rick, you good?
One more.
Okay, I was like, you seem very intent about one more thing.
There's one
that you
more
have in
highlight
there.
When people say they feel a lack of purpose at work, it's often because the purpose at work is unknown or inconsistent with their personal purpose. So I thought that was kind of cool. And 1.5 thing. This then talks about, here it is. When we walk into a room, so think about Kimi, okay? The climate of our brand comes with us. There's all kind of climates, cold, not Kimi. Warm, probably not Kimi. Hot, probably Kimi, right? Climates are important. They help dictate the forecast. This is all kind of tied together with inspiration. So this is the one personal piece I'll just add just to make a point on this book is that my business partner and a couple of clients have called, has referred to me as the bull in the china shop, because oftentimes I'll come into a room and create all kinds of ruckus and cause all kinds of, just stress gets higher and I'm just overly excited and everything just gets full, it's intense. Think about what it would be like when you're in a situation, which happens often with clients where you've got conflict, you're at a closing, something's not going right. You do a walkthrough, not going very well. You're about to put yourself into that situation. Imagine being collected, calm, and what was the other C?
Cool.
Cool, yeah. Confident. So, 4 C's. Imagine walking into that environment. How are your clients going to respond to you? When you are the one with all this conflict going on around you, you dealt with it today, this morning. He was just talking about it. Now all of a sudden he gets on the phone. Now he has put himself into the situation. Is he going to be the ball in the china shop and break everything around because he's all stressed out too, right? Or is he going to say, we are going to be inspiring to other people by showing this attitude that we are saying, this is who we are, this is what we believe, this is who we're going to be, and we're going to remain confident, and it's all going to work out. I just think it's this really cool opportunity to decide how you're going to walk into a room and how you're going to affect our clients and relationship.
Well, I think they can change, right? It can change in whatever the environment is, right? If you need to bring a different temperature to it, you have to be able to be aware and self-aware enough, and aware of, the situation of like, what do you bring to that moment so that it's not combative? Or if it is combative, how do you de-escalate that quickly?
That point, like this morning, I had someone refer, it was a conversation, we have a rental property that we used to own, or that we still own, that we used to live in, we moved out of it. The people across the neighbors were complaining about this house. And during the conversation, she hearkened back and said something about my family. There was talk about my family taking this house from another family. And I'm like, huh. And the house had been foreclosed upon, bought the house in the neighborhood. And we were being blamed for the family losing the house. And we have since moved, but my wife once said, I want to move to get a restart. I feel like the neighborhood looks at us strangely. And so I had that background, and then I had this woman make a comment about our family basically being blamed for taking the family's house away. And I thought to myself, how do you respond? And my first thing would be to become defensive, make her some sort of snide remark. And I just decided, you know what? I'll just let it lie. Because there's nothing I'm going to do in that moment to make this woman perceive me differently. And I'm not going to say something to my wife that'll just stigmatize everything that she has said negative about this situation. It'll stigmatize about, oh, those people. And instead, I'll just take it in and move, deal with it internally, move forward with it. If it doesn't serve the neighborhood any benefit, or my wife any benefit, or myself any benefit. Like, you know what? Just take it and move forward. But that's kind of the idea of being a little bit self-aware. Definitely want to kind of jump down the person's road and or defend yourself and say, we had nothing to do with this such a situation. Like it doesn't really.
Curious on why that perception is happening, right? Like when someone would say that to me, I would just, hey Scott, I'm just curious on why you believe you took this house from them.
Yeah.
Like, can you just help me understand that perspective? Because honestly, I'm like, I'm curious if it's like, oh, you have they just might not know, right? They might not know what's happening, and then you know how a neighborhood is, like wildfire, when something goes around. I'd be curious on why that perspective is being said.
It could be their perspective on his profession alone.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's true.
realtors, you know, realtors are taking advantage of certain situations. So.
All right, we didn't even get through numbers right now. So can we do a brief, just down the line, kind of where you're tracking, not in detail? I mean, we don't have to go through each number. Normally we go through appointments, contracts, pendings, and closed and where we're tracking for the year. If we can do that quickly, because I think it's important for us to do, I probably won't have questions around it as much, but I would like an update just so that I know everyone that's followed throughout the months can kind of see where you're at in a short little explanation.
Everything's great. We're on pace for goal. Took 2 listings yesterday.
On pace for goal, what percent? I got like 50%, 60%?
75%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And those are closed,
No.
closed or pending. Okay,
Sorry, closed and pending, yes, on pace.
okay, okay,
New listings acquired yesterday have not been sold yet. I'll get on it.
okay. Well, I was curious on what you meant by like, no, I'm like, okay, what's 75? Is that with the 2 listings or not? Okay, awesome, Rick.
We're at about 60% of what the goal, where we should be for goal. So a little bit low on that. We have 7 pending right now, which is very good. But we have 1 listing and 5 active buyers. So the future is not looking awesome. That's why we focus we shifted everything to prospect.
Okay.
Really good right now with everything that's closing, but there's nothing after it.
Pipeline is,
So we
Yeah.
we had a good spring and, we had a good spring and so we're tracking its goal, but I don't have anything in the pipeline and I don't tend to fill it. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm not gonna hit goal unless something terrible happens or like terribly different happens. I'm not gonna hit goal. But I'm also not going my behaviors all that much. Say, oh my goodness, I'm not hitting goal. Good, I know it sounds terrible, but I've kind of changed focus a little bit more towards doing some rental stuff and focusing on doing some other financial things. And
well, there's some personal things too that
Yeah.
has shifted your focus quite a bit in the
Yeah.
last.
so
lot
I'm
of
taking
time.
over my mother-in-law's, everything that she does financially and basically her medical, her health, everything. So that kind of took that's where I'm moving now. And then, anyway, so kind of are doing other things with family.
So next year's goals look different than this year's goal.
Yeah.
For GCI revenue and profit, I'm 80% of goal. So they're on track as of right now for me. And the pipeline looks okay. I could definitely stand to fill that a little bit more for the rest of the year.
Can we talk about that? Because that was not where you were at the beginning of the year. And
No.
there was a pretty large, like, uh-oh.
Like
A-
a good 5 months of uh-oh.
Yeah, of being behind, right? So, I mean, because I think it's important to know when it's like, oh, all right, I was behind, what do I have to do? What's the answer every single time?
I am still behind in units.
Okay.
And my goal is to make those up throughout the rest of the year. So I end at goal, which will then.
Units wise?
Units wise, which
Okay.
will probably then project me or put me over for GCI and revenue. But yeah, basically through May, it was a rough start. And then the summer's been good.
Awesome. Kevin,
I am in 8 months where I should have been in 6 months. I have about another 100,000 in GCI. I want to close by the end of December. I have right now 30,000 of that is pending. 70 or 92,000 of that is under contract. I have one of them is on the market or I'm representing them. It's not under contract and I have. I think I need to have 2 more listings that will close by the end of the year in order to exceed my goal. I have a piece of land for 700K that I don't know that we'll sell by the end of the month, so I gotta take that one off and replace that, so. That's where we're at.
Awesome. Any final?
Can I just, can I
Yeah.
make a push one more time?
Yeah.
If you go to mykw.kw.com, it tracks everything for you, so you can look at where was I trending last year versus this year. It also does a market report, like, show you, not a market report, but your August report. So it does everything there from all that Heather does. It's tracking for you, even if you go, I'm not tracking, someone's tracking for you.
The only thing it's not tracking is contacts and calls.
Right.
'Cause of
Your
the-
front-end
the
activity.
front-end, yeah, but it is tracking your results. And as always, if you have questions, please reach out to Heather and she can show you where to get that, or myself, so that you can look at those numbers. All right, do I hear a motion to end the ALC meeting?
I'll make that motion. to
A
end
second.
the meeting.
Awesome. Thank you. And, let's do wants and needs right now before we go grab lunch. I think it's out there. What do we have for buyer needs and new listing?
Terry Welly has got, this is good, 2 new listings, holy mackerel, we need listings. One is a condo in Loring Park, 2-bed, 2 baths, really nice location, great building, 200K. The other one is a 2019 DR Horton built 2-story in Woodbury. 4 bedrooms up, 3 baths, 3-car garage. And at $539, which is a great price out there. And the basement is unfinished. You can add another bedroom, bathroom, and rec room down there. So that is a really nice family home. And actually, that's in a neighborhood that I've got a couple of clients that have been in the neighborhood. It's one that's got everything, a movie theater, it's got an ice rink, it's got all kinds of amenities, tons of amenities in the neighborhood. It's pretty awesome. Can't remember what it's called, something farms, but really, really cool neighborhood.
Awesome. Who else?
We got 2 townhomes in EP that are off market right now, but available. They're both around 3,000 square feet, both gonna be in like that 650, 675 range. They're in a community called Boulder Point. So if you know anything, want anything there, one of them will be coming on the market in about 2 weeks. The other one will be coming on probably towards the holiday time.
One levels?
One level living. One level living with walkout basement, or one's walkout, I think they both have walkout basement. Are lower levels, and then looking for a house on either with 5 acres plus where you could do like dirt bikes, in the metro, kids go to Southwest. So they like dirt bikes where they could set up tracks, or something on a small lake, up to 2 million on a small lake. Kind of on that south side, it's like a Zumbrum and a Trista. Any of the little lakes down in kind of that area in the western southwest corner, up to 2 million.
Same clients, either land, 2 different
Yeah,
clients?
yeah, the land or the lake would be same client.
yeah.
Same-
So up to 2 million land, 5 acres.
Yeah.
Dirt bikes.
Yeah.
I have a sub 300 20-year-old home. It's nice in Montrose. I don't like selling things in Montrose very often, but if you have a client that goes, hey, I have a tight budget, it's actually a great house. Sub 300, 3-bedroom, 2-car garage, all that jazz. 3 bathrooms.
What city's next upon?
It's if you continue beyond Delano, so Delano, Montrose, so. Grayed out 12.
How big's the yard?
Normal lot, get that buyer sub 300, great place. No association costs.
Derek?
We have townhome in Chanhassen coming at 410, main level living, walkout, nice, needs some paint. Second is a home in Brooklyn Center, 275. I think it's 3 bedrooms and in a great spot, like next to a park. And then we've got a North Loop condo that I think is going to be 525, maybe 515. It's a 1-bedroom, 1 bath that's been completely updated and is really.
What does it look like on the inside? Sorry.
What?
What does it look like on the inside? Like, is it like?
The
like-
loft.
Okay.
Yeah.
What building?
Power lofts. Then we have a rental in Edina at 3650, 4-bedroom, 2 bath. If you have anybody looking, we would do a shorter term or less than 1 year lease to help out. We also have one other house coming, that we can advertise for rent. It's 3 bedrooms, 1 bath in, at 50th in France. It's a cool Tudor. And, now that I talk about it, I can't remember what the rent is on it. If you have somebody think 4,000 or no, 3,300.
And if anyone's looking for rental, we have a 4-bedroom, 2-bath rental in Minnetonka Schools from 3,000 to 3,500. The price hasn't been decided yet. That's single family. And then a duplex in Hopkins Schools, Minnetonka, for 2,500. That's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage in Hopkins for 2,500. I gotta talk to the tenants. And find out.
I also have a townhouse in Eden Prairie. It's gonna be 215. It's a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. It is used as a rental right now. The complex doesn't have any more availability for that, so. Yeah.
Lists, a couple new construction. Got a single family home starting artisan home tour early October. That'll be 3.2 million. That's on MLS now. I have another lot that's on that street. Buyer can come in and build anything they'd like. Target price range probably be 2 to 3 million, the good range. I've got another one right next to Wayzata Country Club. Similar price range. That's Orno, but Wayzata Schools, 2 acres, backs up to the Loose Line, really nice location. That one should be on MLS. I have another one on the same street as our artisan home tour, but that's a resale. About 1.2. That's an awesome Rambler. It's dated, but it's like fabulously maintained by the original owner who built it. Everything's in really excellent shape. It just needs refreshing. An easy thing to renovate. That's got to be a really good neighbor though, because I live next door to that one. And then we've got a few others that are coming up too. Oh, we've got new construction in Orno, more entry level price point. We're trying to target about $1 million total package. We've got a lot that's on Hackberry Hill, if you're familiar with that park. It's a street of 70s era homes that are in that like 450 kind of average price point, but we have a lot that we acquired that's on that street. So around $1 million, maybe $1.1 million, but someone can build something to their liking. That's there. Like I think it's around 0.5 or 0.6. It's city sewer, city water for that one, but Orno Schools, Orno the city. And then a few rentals turning over to 2 duplexes that are turning over 2,400 in Gold Valley, 2,600 in Minnetonka. And then some South Plymouth, 4,000-ish, and then a Long Lake for 3,500.
Awesome. If you didn't get to share anything or have other ones, send them to Lydia and she'll send out an email. So buyer needs, pre-list coming soon. Anything that you have signed would be great. And she'll get that out. Otherwise, go enjoy some food out in the kitchen area.
AKA Tony's birthday party.
AKA birthday party.
There's no streamers.
Oh, really?
I thought happy hour was for me today.
Well, that's too. That's
Oh, by the way, if you show up.
Great day for a birthday.
I'm gonna be there. All right.
He's obviously gonna be there celebrating.
I got it in my calendar. Rick, I put the 3rd Wednesday in my calendar. And it's just it's working, dude. I didn't know that it was on. the 3rd. So I did figure that out how to program that in the calendar. It's a big difference. I didn't mention that. It's so helpful.
Well, that doesn't include what's pending, because that'll be done.
Lunch.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it. I mean, as I was like plugging the numbers in, I was like, oh.
Emily, nice to meet you as well.
Oh.
Yeah.